First, here's everything you'll need. Some jack stands, an oil filter, obviously some oil, a container to catch the oil, some safety glasses, a funnel to make pouring and draining easier, some gloves, and then some sockets and a wrench set. Today we're going to be using the Castrol Power One fully synthetic motorcycle oil. The viscosity of the oil is SAE 10W40. I got this particular brand and oil from Advanced Auto Parts. It was around $11 to $13 a quart. The motorcycle needs roughly 2 quarts, so you're going to need 2 bottles of these. And I will have information on this link down below so you guys can take a look at it. There's other brands of oil you can use, but I'm going to go with this brand for now. The oil filter I'm going with today is the Fram PH6017A. This filter works well with the Kawasaki Ninja 650. Like the oil, there's other brands of filters you can go with. I went with this. I got this particular filter at Revzilla. I'll have a link down below, but you can go with a different brand if you would like. All right, so the next step is going to be getting the bike on some rear jack stands and have it nice and level so you can drain all the oil properly. You will need some rear spools installed on your bike as well as some rear jack stands. These aren't 100% needed to do an oil change, but it sure as hell makes it a lot easier. So we're gonna put the spools nice and level, make sure they're good to go. Get them on the rear stand and boom, nice and level. All right, so here is the location of the drain bolt. It's on the left side of the bike, same side as the kickstand. You may need to take off this 3 or 4 millimeter hex key that holds the fairing to this side of the bike. The drain bolt is a 17 millimeter. We're gonna get right into it. Let's just take off this hex key real quick. Again, 3 or 4 millimeter. Just figure out which one it is. All right, there's the hex bolt. Don't lose it. You'll have better access to the fairing. You get your socket and wrench, 17 millimeter. Put that bad boy on there. Also want to have your drain pan. All right, so again, the drain bolt is a 17 millimeter. You'll need a 17 millimeter socket. You're gonna loosen it and crack it open. Give it a little bit, have your drain pan at the ready. It's loose, I can hand unthread it. In this case, because I have a small drain pan, I'm going to slowly let it drain. All right, now we got the liquid gold coming out. All right, so that little container wasn't doing me justice, so I had to go back and grab another container, let all the oil flow out. This may take a couple minutes, you know, just let it all flow out, and then once you're good to go, we'll move on to the next step. Some people say that you need to replace this little gasket on the outside of the bolt. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to use the same little washer and it should be good to go, to be honest. Now, since the bike is level, we don't have to worry about oil being trapped in the engine, so it should all drain out for the most part, and then we'll move on to the oil filter. Okay, when you're ready, you're gonna hand thread the oil plug into the oil pan. You're gonna hand thread it tight, and then you'll torque it down to spec afterwards. All right, so you wanna make sure that you reinstall your fairing piece by the oil pan drain bolt, and just tighten it, make sure it's all good. I'll have the specs on screen so you know the torques to retighten it. It's a little loose, but I think it's naturally supposed to have a little bit of give in there. If not, just check how you have the spacer, the washer, and the bolt. Should be good to go. Now, the next step is going to be removing the old oil filter. There's a couple ways you can do this to make it a lot simpler. You could take off the entire left side fairing or the right side fairing. In this case, my left side fairings is actually cracked and damaged, so I didn't have to take it off. But yeah, we want to make this easy. Another thing that you want to note is I'm putting a piece of aluminum foil. This is not needed, but it's a good little tip that I learned when doing this, so that oil doesn't drip on the exhaust filter. So then the next step would be, in this case, this filter has a lug nut portion on it. It's a 17 millimeter. I'm going to take my 17 millimeter. I'm going to crack it open. Nope, get it on there good. Lefty loosey. All right, and then I can I can hand unthread it. Just make sure the oil's good. Oh, yep, see, the oil's dripping on there instead of on the exhaust, which will cause smoke when it's heated up, which we don't want. You could also place down rags or towels as well, but I find this to be a lot easier. So we're gonna hand unthread it. A bunch of oil, yep, it's gonna spill out. The aluminum foil's there to help catch it and drip it into the thing. Right, so this is the old filter, which came with a lug nut removal piece on it. I could have bought one for this one, but I was trying to be as cheap as possible, so I got it without it. In this case, all the oil is still draining, so we're just going to apply a little bit of oil to the new seal on the gasket on the outside. Dip my finger in oil, rub it on the outside. Just make sure it has a good connection. So from here, we're just gonna screw on the old oil. There's a little bit dripping out. You know, honestly, it'll be fine. We're gonna hand thread it on. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. I'm gonna put the actual torque specs on the page, but I usually just hand thread it tight. There we go. Take the aluminum foil off. Clean up any excess oil that's on the exhaust, like here or here, there's a couple of drips. Clean around the oil filter. But there, yep, the oil filter is good to go. This is the oil cap where you can add more oil. Just turn it left, hand thread it, hand unthread it. Oh, there you go, don't lose it. Put your funnel in there. Here is the oil level indicator. You want to do this when the bike is level. Since it's on jack stands, the bike is level, and it's basically letting us know there's no oil. And then from there, we are good to go to start adding oil in. Again, this bike takes 1.9 quarts. All right, when you have all your oil re-added in, you're gonna turn this oil cap back on, hand thread it. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Just make sure it's good. There you go, don't over-thread it. Now, as the oil is being added, it may look like it's full, and then the rest of the engine oil will use gravity and go down, and then you'll have to add a little bit more. So once you're adding the 2 quarts in, you'll see that it'll stay halfway point through the oil level window. Just make sure you're good and you added enough oil back in there. Added the old oil back into the new bottles that I had. So what I'm going to do when I'm done with this is I'm going to dispose of these, add an AutoZone or Advanced Auto Parts, and pour the oil down in the back into their oil recycling center. Alright guys, we're all wrapped up. Hopefully the tutorial on the oil change for the 2019 Kawasaki Ninja 650 helped. Hopefully the shots and everything clarified things. If you guys have any questions or comments, please be sure to leave it down below. Be sure to subscribe, like the video. I'll see you later. Deuces.